Hey, this is Jay with Sakred Gaming, and in this video I'm going to be talking about infusing weapons and armor and also mods. So I'm going to talk about this. I have quite a few friends that are new to the Destiny world, and I've been getting some messages from them saying, hey, how do I rank up my weapons and armor? How do I infuse them? And I thought, you know what, let me just make a guide and kind of explain this. So I'm going to put some tips on the screen up in the top right hand side of this video, and hopefully they don't get in the way. But infusing, starting off with the first point, infusing basically puts the power level from one item into another. Basically, if I take, and I'm going to be showing you examples of this here, but basically I've got this 264 old-fashioned hand cannon, and this one's 287. I don't really like this, bad news. I've got a few of them, so I'm going to take the power from this one and actually put it in this one and raise it up. That way you don't have to actually get rid of these weapons that you actually like. So infusing lets you raise the power level basically on the things that you want to keep. Also, mods add power and perks to weapons and armor if they don't have them. You can come over here to the gunsmith, Banshee 44, and he actually sells these mods that you can get. You also get them from randomly from Bright Engrams or turning in packages and everything. Every once in a while you'll see those pop up. So we'll be talking about that here in a minute. As you can see, like, this is a weapon mod. It gives you 5 arc damage, or adds 5 to your power level and gives you arc damage. This is 5 defense to a helmet armor mod. So those are mods. We'll kind of talk about them. You can only buy these though when you reach power level 280. You can get them beforehand, but these down here in order to really buy them, or I guess I should say exchange them, you have to wait till you get to 280. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Now, you only can infuse legendary and exotic weapons and armor. So if you have any blues, you cannot infuse these and bring them up any higher, but you can do any purple items or gold items in here, whether it's weapons, armor, or bonds or anything like that, class items. You can infuse those and bring them up. Now, in order to actually infuse something, you have to use the same type of whatever it is. So like I was talking about this hand cannon, in order to infuse this hand cannon, I have to use another hand cannon that's higher light or higher power. I could not use this pulse rifle to raise this power on this hand cannon. So you have to use the same thing. That goes with armor as well. Gauntlets will only use gauntlets, helmets will only use helmets, etc. You cannot transfer, say, a blue from your warlock to your titan like you could in Destiny 1 and use that to infuse. So it even restricts it a little bit more in that respect. Now, the big things that you need to take into account when it comes to mods and infusing is that the item that you're dismantling does not keep the mod bonus, but the item that you're infusing into does keep the mod bonus. And I'll kind of explain that as we go through some examples, but those are the things that you really need to understand in order to infuse and do well with this, because sometimes you'll infuse things and you don't get the power level that you thought you were going to get. That's because these things sometimes drop with mods already on them, or they have mods already on them. So we'll kind of go over that and talk about that as well. Now, I also will say this: don't be afraid to use your exotics that you get to actually put into legendary items, because you can always come over to the vault, even if you dismantle it, and you can go to your collections and then end up picking things up. Once you actually get one of these exotics to drop for you, they're always available over here to purchase. And you can see it takes 10 legendary shards to purchase these weapons. I don't know if armor's different, we'll check that out. No, 10 legendary shards. So you can get these back. They will drop at 205 though, so that's a little bit lighter, but you can obviously infuse them and bring them up with other things. So you might want to use the exotics that you get every once in a while. I'm going to show you an example of me using my Mida multi-tool that dropped in order to put it into another scout rifle. So don't be afraid to use exotics. You can always repurchase them. I already told you that power level 280, you need to get to that in order to purchase or trade for legendary mods. Now, you can cap out on Glimmer, if that's the case, if you're at 10,000 glimmer, which I'm not, I've spent a lot actually modding things. You can see I'm only at 49,000, but it'll say 99,999. You know, that means you pretty much capped out. Every time you cap out, or right before, go ahead and purchase some of these. These are just random mods, and you use the mods that you get from here and other circumstances to trade for these. So I have got 3 that I could trade for this. You can see that number 3 out of 3. It takes 3, I have 3. This takes 3, I have 12, so I could purchase 4 of these. I could purchase 1 of those. So every once in a while I'll buy some of these. Like I said, you also get them from Bright Engrams and packages and other things. They'll just kind of drop randomly. And then last but not least, a lot of times when you are infusing, it costs legendary shards. The amount of legendary shards that you have are right up here. I've got 225. You get those every time you dismantle a legendary piece or an exotic piece. I think you get 3 for a legendary and maybe 5 or 6 for an exotic. I can't remember the last time I've done that. So keep that in mind. You might need some legendary shards and some glimmer or something like that. But let's get into some examples and I'll get to this. So first up, let's do that hand cannon. So when you're looking to actually infuse, this is the item that I want to infuse into. This is the item that I want to raise the power level. So I'm going to look on here. I have a mod on here, this kinetic mod, but it doesn't have the +5 or anything like that. So if it did, it would stay. I'll check this one. And this is the one I'm going to dismantle. This doesn't have that +5. So I'm going to get the full 287 into what I'm infusing into. So this will be raised to 264 when I do it. So you just go into this one, and then here in the bottom left hand side it says infuse. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to use this one. See how it only shows the hand cannons that I have in my inventory right now, and then it shows you what it takes: 500 glimmer and 1 legendary shard. So I'm going to hit X, then go ahead and infuse, and there it goes to 287. So I've deleted obviously the one that I was using to infuse or to dismantle, but this one is now 287. Let's do an exotic. So I've got this Graviton Lance that I got playing through the story mission. We'll check and see if this has a mod on it. All right, so this has a mod on it. This is going to be the one that I'm infusing into, so I will keep this mod, so I will be +5. Now I'm going to use this blue right here. Blues never have mods in there, so you don't have to worry about checking these out. I guess it does. I didn't even know you could do that, but all right. So I guess you should check that out. But there is not a mod that adds value to this blue. So I'm going to get this full 281. Plus, I'm going to keep the mod that I already have on this, so it should go to 286. So we'll try it out here. And that took 4 legendary shards. All right, so there it is, 286. Remember, it was 281, plus I got the 5 bonus right here because I kept this weapon mod, and it went to 286. So that's how it works. It works the same exact way with the armor and everything like that. I'm going to switch over to some clips that I already have and show you a couple more examples just to make it clear. But make sure you just pay attention to those notes up at the top right-hand side. So let me switch over, and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is when I got my Nameless Midnight Scout Rifle. I really like it. It dropped at, let's see, my Midas 296, dropped at 276. Alright, so I'm going to equip it. You don't have to equip it, but you can't dismantle the thing that you have equipped. So this 296, I'm going to check and see if it's got a mod. It has a mod on it. So I'm not going to get the 296. I'm only going to get 291 when I put it into the Scout Rifle. Now, the Scout Rifle doesn't have a mod bonus. The +5 just has a regular one. So I will only get that 291. Now, what I can do, though, is apply a mod to it. So I come over here. I have one of these kinetic ones available, and I hit it and apply right there. So I do it again, but then I'm going to bump it up with that 5 to 296. So that's how you apply a mod as well. So I got rid of my Mida, not like you need it in trials or anything like that. Nobody runs that, right? But I can always go to the vault and actually purchase that Mida and level it up. Now here's a pair of boots. This boots doesn't have a mod on it. I don't want to put a mod on it because I'm going to lose it, because I'm going to use these boots to infuse into something else. So don't put a mod on something that you're going to infuse into something else. You'll just lose it. So here's my Lunafaction boots. This already has them on it, so I'm going to get whatever I put into it plus that 5. So these boots are 289. They don't have a mod, so I won't subtract 5, you know. So they're 289 plus the 5 from the boots. I should get to 294 with my boots right here. So I'm going to switch them over here, go down to infuse, looks like my boots that I want to infuse into or bring into or dismantle takes 1 legendary shard and 500 glimmer. And so I'm going to go ahead and put these into my boots and I should hit 294. Yeah, exactly. So that's how infusing works. It can be a little complicated. Make sure you just pay attention to that guide that I have in the top right hand side. I'll actually make it bigger here. You can pause it, but just keep that in mind. Whatever you are dismantling, you will only get the base level. You will not get the base level plus that 5 or whatever mod you have on. Whatever you are putting it into, you keep the mod in there. So it has a mod in there, whatever you're putting into, you will get that full base level from whenever you're dismantling plus the mod value. And that's how it works. If you have any questions or I didn't explain anything, make sure you just leave me a question. I'll be glad to answer those, but hopefully this helps you out. If it does, I would really appreciate if you give this a thumbs up, but that's where I'm gonna end this, man. Hope you guys have an awesome week. As always, take care and God bless.